Hi guys, Toni here from Toni Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the K&N Air Filter, the high flow air filter, and we're going to ask the question, does it actually improve performance? So for anyone that watches this channel or has watched some of my other videos, you'll see that I swapped out my catalytic converter for the Tech X pipe about 3 months ago now. And I went through various points on that, and one of the points I hit was, does it make a difference to performance? And my personal opinion was no, it doesn't increase or enhance performance in any way. It does make the sound fantastic, I love it. But performance wise, no, it didn't make a difference. A few people then commented that you need to upgrade the air filter to help with the increased airflow. And so what I'm doing today is upgrading to the K&N high flow filter. The current Triumph one that I've got there on the left, which has probably got about 6,000 miles on that at the moment. So that is the one you get with your bike from new, and that's the one that Triumph use. It's the paper pleated filter, and as you can see from the design, the pleats and the density of the paper can be pretty restrictive on the amount of airflow coming into the engine, and over time, as they're open to the elements, they eventually clog up, restricting airflow even more. So obviously the performance of the bike will be hampered even more. It's also the case that when they're done, it's a bin job. You literally throw them away. They aren't designed to be reused. So now if we take a look at the K&N filter on the right, it's completely different. First off, you can see through the pleats, which means obviously more air is going to get into the engine and quicker. But then we ask, well, if it's got bigger holes, how does that stop the debris getting into the engine? So the answer is, the filter is covered in a thin layer of oil, and that helps the dirt particles stick to those fibres. The second point is, these filters are made from cotton fibres, not paper. And on a microscopic scale, with the intake of the gases and the expulsion of the exhaust gases, and the engine gases, these small microscopic fibres are whirling around. They're not just blowing back and forth with it sucking in and sucking out, because the engine doesn't run at a complete smooth thing. It actually vibrates, you know, a little bit of in and out, sort of like, you know, pulsating. So these fibres are whirling around in all different directions, so they help capture any of these little particles that they come into contact with. Okay, so just to give you a little hint and tip, I'm going to you're going to need to remove the side cover, and I'll remove the fake carb cover as well, because the air filter is in this little box just here under the seat here. Okay, on the reverse side, you want to remove these little clips and this little pipe here to the airbox, and obviously again you're going to want to remove the cover. On these screws on my bike are these star heads, you know, the ones with the star, not the hexagon like an Allen key. They're actually starred. Okay, so this is the front cover. It will go on that way. Just bear in mind, if you're doing it on a street twin or any of these models, that it's attached, this pipe is attached to the front of the cover. Can be a little bit fiddly, you can take it off. There is the air filter, and it just slides out like a cassette. It should just slide out. So just a quick thing, when you're refitting the K&N filter, you've got this grease that you put around this edge, and then you put your Triumph sort of cover over and squash it down. You want to make sure that there's no grease sort of squirting out anywhere, because you don't want that going into the air intake box, because you don't want it sucking that down into the engine. So you want to make sure it's clean, but it does say to use a generous amount. So putting it back is just a case of slotting it in. Fits in flush like that, and then putting all the other stuff back, the cover and everything, in reverse order that we took it off. So what I'm going to do right now is just start the bike up and let the cup of tea while the bike's running, then out for a ride. Don't you just love kitting up to go out on the bike? Does it make you feel excited, like something's about, you know, like you're about to do something really exciting? I get that every time I go out on my bike. I get excited, like, oh yeah, I can't wait. Okay, so in answer to the question, has the air filter improved the bike's performance? For me personally, my answer would be no. I couldn't feel any extra responsiveness in terms of the bike's overall power. For me personally, it felt the same. There was probably a few little less back pops since swapping out the catalytic converter for the Tech X pipe. When you roll off the throttle, I noticed that there are a few little pops coming out the back of the exhaust, and I would say that I noticed there was probably a little bit less popping going on, but there was never a lot anyway. It was only every now and again, so there's probably a less amount of pops going on there. But in overall, the bike's performance, no, it hasn't. From reading, I've read around, and sort of people say that you can expect between 2.5% and 3.5% increase in power from your bike. So I suppose the other answer to the question is no, I might not be able to notice it, but would I really notice 2.5% to 3.5% increase in performance? I don't think I would. So it could potentially have increased it, but not to a noticeable amount. The filter cost me 47 quid from eBay, from a online dealer, and like I said, they are reusable. So the good thing about that is you know, doing less damage to the environment. If you're sort of worried about all this sort of disposable lifestyle, which is nice to know that you can reuse it. It's you wash it out with the correct K&N cleaners, and you put the new oils on, and they're guaranteed up to 10 years and 1 million miles. So it's basically for the lifetime of the bike. When you consider I bought that one from Triumph and that was 27 quid, and that is disposable, then yeah, I'm happy that I've changed up to the K&N, which is reusable. But no noticeable power difference. So thanks for watching. I hope you found that video helpful. Subscribe to the channel, there's more videos coming up. Take a look at my motorcycle merchandise website, which is called Let Us Live, and it's all about being inspired by motorcycles. I'll put the link in the description over there. So safe riding, and I'll see you all soon.